So now that Billy Joe Saunders is no longer defending his world title against Max Bursak on April 30th, the show will go ahead, but topping the bill instead will be Hughie Fury facing off against Fred Kassi. Personally, I don't like this fight. And I tell you why. Because Hughie Fury has been the distance several times. He's been rounds in fights on numerous occasions. So he don't need someone that's just going to be able to take him rounds for the sake of going rounds. He's already done that. He needs somebody who's going to be able to challenge him in terms of boxing skills. He needs someone that is going to somewhat replicate or simulate what some of the higher level fighters that Hughie Fury is going to face in future are going to do. Fred Kassi, in my opinion, is not that guy. Fred Kassi is, what is he, 5'11", 6 feet tall, and he's just an out-and-out spoiler. Very ugly style, and he tends to drag his opponents down to his level and turn it into just an ugly, ugly fight. And no disrespect to Fred Kassi, maybe he's a really cool guy, I don't know. But the only entertaining moment I've ever seen in a Fred Kassi fight is when Amir Mansour knocked him out cold with a right hook. Again, that's no disrespect to the guy. I'm just being honest as a boxing fan. He is not entertaining. He is the opposite of entertaining. You know, this guy, watching Fred Kassi fight sometimes will make you want to jump off a tall building. So that's who they've got for Hughie Fury. Fred Kassi is not going to replicate any of the guys that Hughie Fury is going to face, any of the, the better heavyweights in the world, anyone in the top 20. Nobody else fights like Fred Kassi. Nobody else of those dimensions fights like Fred Kassi. He's just an out-and-out spoiler designed to make you look bad. Now, is there a possibility that Hughie Fury could stop him? Yeah, there is. Particularly because Fred Kassi has taken this fight on short notice. We don't know what type of shape he's going to be in. We don't know how much ambition he's going to come with. So it's possible Hughie Fury will stop him. But going on past form, Fred Kassi against Dominic Breazeale, for example, he's going to make it ugly. I expect Hughie Fury to win. Don't get it twisted. I think Hughie Fury is a much better boxer than Dominic Breazeale in terms of technical ability. But, yeah, I can't see anything other than Fred Kassi being very awkward. If he's in any type of shape, which, like I say, could be questionable given the fact he's taking this on short notice. But if he is in any type of shape, he's just going to spoil, make it awkward, and he's going to take Hughie Fury rounds just for the sake of going rounds. What's he really going to learn? Who else in the division is the same dimensions and style of a Fred Kassi? Nobody. So, I don't know. I personally don't like the fight. Maybe you do like it. Maybe you think he can gain something from a Fred Kassi. But as I say, he's already been the distance loads of times. He's already, Rudenko and Dominic Gwynn and all these other guys have taken him rounds. So he needs somebody maybe like a Ustinov or a Dimitrenko or who else now? There are a bunch of taller guys, maybe somebody like that. A taller guy who's actually going to try and box with him, because Hughie Fury isn't a massive puncher. So he's not going to do a Joshua and just start walking through all these big guys. Okay? He's going to take a few more rounds maybe than a Joshua. So I think it will be easier. And it's shown already. The fact that Hughie Fury has been several rounds and he's had, I think, 1 or 2 common opponents with Joshua, and Hughie Fury hasn't been able to dispatch them as quickly. So I do think somebody like a Dimitrenko or a Ustinov or one of these type of guys would be ideal for Hughie Fury. Maybe even Marius Wack if you want to get a little bit more challenging. So that's who I would like to see. Someone bigger, someone a little bit more ambitious, someone that's actually they're not going to beat him, but they're going to challenge him technically from an orthodox type of perspective. They're going to challenge him technically more than a Fred Kassi, who's just going to be there to spoil and mess around. God, it's going to be such an ugly fight for a top of the bill, especially. What an ugly fight. And is it just me, or do Frank Warren's shows get cancelled more than any other promoter in Britain, at least out of the the main promoters in Britain, like Eddie Hearn, and I guess now you can say Mick Hennessy is one of the big players in British boxing at the moment. I know that this show obviously hasn't been cancelled, but Billy Joe Saunders has pulled out. So this to me, maybe it's just me, but it seems to happen more on Frank Warren shows than on anybody else's shows. Let me know what you feel about Hughie Fury against Fred Kassi. How do you see this fight going? You think Hughie Fury can stop him and replicate what Mansour did? And again, in the Mansour fight, even though Mansour knocked him out, Mansour was being messed around for the whole fight before then. Fred Kassi was hanging around and being annoying as hell in that fight and making Mansour extremely frustrated. Let me know what you think in this fight. I think, like I said, I think Fury will handle Kassi better than Mansour or Brazil did, because I think he's better technically than both of those guys. He's obviously taller than Mansour, got a better jab, and yeah, he's better at long range than Brazil as well. So I think he'll be able to handle him a bit better than those guys. I don't know whether he'll knock him out cold the way that Mansour was able to do, but from a boxing perspective, I think he'll be able to handle him better. But it's still going to be ugly. Don't get it twisted. Kassi is just that type of guy. So drop your comments in the comment section below, people. Let me know how you feel.